Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Welcome to the party, pal. You're here with Master Chaos and Brother Chaos, and we're bringing you the first ever episode of Strictly Splatter Live. BC, welcome. Can you explain to folks at home what Strictly Splatter means?
It was a website that we ran together for 6 years, reviewing obscure horror films. We had over 500 text reviews, and it was a really kick-ass website. And one of the things that made it stand out was we rated each movie from 1 through 5 coffins, 5 being the best, and then we also rated the blood, the breasts, and the beasts from 1 through 5 as well. So each movie was rated that particular way, and it was a lot of fun. And now we hope to bring back a little bit of that enthusiasm that we had with the website, and now here on Master Chaos YouTube channel.
Exactly. Now, there was a possibility maybe that in the future you'll have your own channel. Is that something? I know you've been contemplating that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Yeah, honestly, I'm nervous as hell because I remember one time Master Chaos gave me the reins. I don't remember what video it was, for me to kind of like be the narrator, not the narrator, the main
The
guy,
host, yeah.
the host, and I shit my pants. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I would like to. So just right now it's a maybe. But one of the reasons that I liked Strictly Splatter was because it was text, and that way you kind of like have time and you could edit out stupid stuff that you say. I mean, in a video you could too, but not a live video. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, what happens.
We'll maybe hint that it's a possibility, but don't get your hopes up. But in the meantime, you're here, and this is Strictly Splatter Live, Episode 1. The way this is going to work is, at least for now, we're going to focus on 3 movies, 3 fairly recent releases, 2 not necessarily will we always have the physical version to discuss, but we'll be talking about films that are either in the discussion in the physical media space, and that we have been able to TBYB, try before you buy, in that case, before we buy. We have 3 very special movies today. Brother Cass, do you want to tell us what the films are?
Sure. The first film that we will be reviewing is Woodchipper Massacre, directed by John McBride, which he also did Cannibal Campout. The next movie is Erenia Diabolica, which I think a Vinegar Syndrome partner label is putting that out, right?
Yes.
And the last film is it Japanese or Korean? It's called Door. Simply Door.
Japanese,
okay. And those are the 3 films that we will be talking about a little bit tonight.
2 of them from TerrorVision and Third Window Films, and the last one being from De Gazer, which is a sub-label of Vinegar Syndrome. So not technically a partner label, but a sub-label. I'm going to check in with the chat real quick. That's the Herencia Diabolica.
Oh, okay.
Corey K in the house. What's up, Corey? Happy to have you here. Zach is here. He says, glad to see the dynamic duo back together for something new and exciting. I'm glad you think so. I appreciate that. Yeah. Corey K says the 3 Bs clap. They do.
Right.
Yeah. When you find a movie that's fills out all the coffins, it is a woo. It's a classic, yeah. Stone Cold classic.
It definitely is, yeah.
So you wanted to start with Woodchipper Massacre, yes?
Yes, Woodchipper Massacre.
All right. You want me to start, or do you want to begin?
I'll start. I saw this movie, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. and I'd forgotten most of it, but I remembered that I liked it, and I remembered that it was not your typical shot on video gore film because it takes a different approach in it's almost like a family movie feel, but then
Mm-hmm.
it has the wood chipper incident, which happens I think twice. And the movie's pretty much about a family, three kids. Well, John McBride plays the older kid, which I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but and it's him and his brother and his sister, and they live with their
Mm-hmm.
dad. The dad goes away on, I believe, a business trip, and he rented out this wood chipper, and they have it in the backyard. So that's there, which that will come into play later. And then the dad has the aunt, his sister, take care of the kids while the dad is away on a business trip, and
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much the story as it begins. And what else? What else? The characters are interesting. The acting is pretty good. The little kid was surprisingly good actor. He's like 13 or so. Yeah, there you go. That's him. And so they're there being babysat by the aunt. Now nobody likes the aunt because she's like this religious fanatic and she's very strict. And are we gonna go into spoilers or no?
We could do spoilers when we kind of circle back for our ratings. Like we'll do like sort of our opening thoughts, then we circle back for final thoughts and ratings, and we can do spoilers then.
All right, all right. So it has a pretty family friendly type movie feel at the beginning of the movie. Now you know it's called the Woodchipper Massacre, so you know somebody's going in the Woodchipper. We don't know who yet. I mean, well, we saw the movie, so we know. But I'm saying that when you're watching it, you don't know who's gonna go in the Woodchipper. And I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Chaos? I wouldn't necessarily say it was a massacre, but I wonder why John McBride, after if you've seen Cannibal Campout, you know what he's capable of gore wise and
Mm-hmm.
like sadistic characters and crazy characters that they have in Cannibal Campout. Maybe he wanted to try something a little bit different this time. Why do you think he went out this route with Woodchipper Massacre?
Um, I thought this was before Cannibal Campout. I thought this was his first movie.
Was it? I could be mistaken.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
we
look
would
that
have to
up
see.
because I know that's I could have sworn that's how they met. He met the Polonia brothers because they saw Woodchipper Massacre, but
Oh, really?
I'm gonna double check that.
Okay.
You go ahead. You can finish your opening thoughts.
Yeah. I liked the movie. It's a fun movie. It works. The story is pretty easy to understand. The characters are fun. They're exciting. Um, there's a lot of dark humor in it,
Mm-hmm.
and that works well for the movie. Um, I would say if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I recommend it. I would give it a thumbs up. Um, that's pretty
Well,
much my
save.
initial thoughts.
Okay, great. It was his first movie, Woodchipper Massacre. Cannibal
Oh,
Campout
okay.
was after this. Let's take a look at the uh. I have this blur thing set up, so it's gonna be kind of weird. Maybe I'll keep it by my face. Anyway, so this is from TerraVision. This is the slipcover. It's a nice slipcover, and it's your typical Amory case with the. It looks like I'm blurring out porn or something. With the the initial artwork that came on the VHS, and TerraVision they go all out with their releases. There's a little artwork back there. It's a nice release for a movie that I'd heard for years. I hadn't watched at the time. I was obviously a big fan of Cannibal Campout, but I didn't watch it until I picked this up, and I enjoyed it. I'll start there, but I was not expecting it to be a Disney Channel type, goofy comedy. Yes, it is a dark comedy, but I wasn't expecting it to be so lighthearted and silly. That took me by surprise. Certainly, if you don't know that going in expecting a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type movie, you're not going to get that.
Right.
Which is I get why people would be disappointed, but if you know going in, it's going to be sort of a dark comedy, tongue in cheek, kind of silly, campy movie, then you're going to have a blast because that's the kind of movie it is. It's not. It it's not your typical comedy, but then again, it's not your typical horror movie. It's very much a homegrown SOV, and I I would say with this and Cannibal Campout, John McBride might be my favorite shot-on-video filmmaker.
Really?
Yeah. I was, and he does things where he gets different angles, and he covers the scene. It's not just one wide shot. There's artistry there. Like he tries to actually give you coverage instead of just like setting the camera up and doing crazy crap. So I appreciated that as a filmmaker, and I think the movie overall is fun. It's very watchable. It does have a kind of cozy feel to it, but a lot of people would be very disappointed if they watched this and they were expecting Cannibal Campout, because it's far from it. And even the Woodchipper stuff, we won't mention how that all develops, but all that stuff is very lame, very like almost it's all off camera, so you don't even get like blood and guts. And that's a little disappointing because seeing what he did with Cannibal Campout, you're like, okay, wow, so he made a Lifetime Disney Channel movie first, and then he did a really gruesome, ugly, dirty movie after.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he needed that. I don't know, but Woodchipper Massacre, it's an interesting one. Thumbs up for me as well, but I'm gonna give my coffin ratings after you do your final a final take on it. So that's it for me for opening thoughts. Continue, BC.
All right. So do I give my ratings now or?
Yeah. Your final thoughts, spoilers, and coffin ratings.
Okay. Spoilers. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. 2 people going to the Woodchipper, which doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't qualify as a massacre. But like 2. There's this interesting character which is very unlikable, which is the son of the aunt that's taking care of them. So that would be the kid's cousin, and he shows up looking for his mother to ask her for money, and he's like a thug, like he's been arrested, and he has a criminal record, and which doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad person, but he is, because he has these like wild eyes, and like he's looking for trouble all the time. He treats the kids very, very bad. So yes, he's one of the characters that goes into the Woodchipper. And spoiler alert, also the aunt that's taking care of them goes into the Woodchipper. Hers is an accident because one of the kids, he ordered a combat survival knife from a catalog, and when the aunt sees it, he has it in the kitchen. They struggle, and accidentally the knife goes into her, and she just dies. So they want to wrap things up without involving the police, and they figure, hey, we have the Woodchipper outside, so let's try that. Now, before I give my coffin rating, I want to give the blood, rest, and beef. Blood, I would say probably 1, because the only thing you see is the blood that's on the Woodchipper device, the farm equipment on there. I don't recall any other blood. Breasts, 0. There's no nudity in the film. Beasts, I would have to say between a 2 and a 3, because yes, it's a dark comedy, but when someone accidentally dies and especially being a family member, you would a responsible thing to do is to call the police and call an ambulance, see if there's some way.
Responsible.
But these people initially look out for themselves. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that yes, it was an accident, but they want to destroy, get rid of the evidence, the body. So I would have to say that the beasts would have to be two because you don't do that, you know.
You don't do that. Okay.
um, Overall, the coffin count from 1 through 5, I give it a 3. Um, I've seen this
Okay.
movie twice now, and it's good. The second time watching it, it's still enjoyable, but it doesn't have the balls to the wall awesomeness that Cannibal Campout had. And even though it's a watchable and enjoyable film, it doesn't satisfy me 100%. So that's why I give it 3 instead of maybe a 4 or a 5. So 3 coffins, and that's I want to end with that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Zach says, glad BC has a moral code he lives by. You don't do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't.
All right. So this movie, one thing we didn't mention is the sister with her really annoying, scratchy voice. That I absolutely hated. I couldn't stand her voice, but I think that was on purpose, which was fine. And there's actually, if you're interested, there's a ton of special features on this. Interviews with John McBride and the cast, the both kids grown up. I was actually very fun to kind of see it from their perspective. They just kind of hung out after school and shot it in John's house. I thought that was kind of neat to see that. OGP in the chat. What's up, OGP? What's up, fellas? Glad to see BC back.
Hey, OGP.
Thanks for hanging in, OGP. All right, so this movie, like I said, it is a Disney. It's almost like a Disney, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
And because it knew what it was and it was having fun with us, and it wasn't stupid on by accident. It was stupid on purpose. I give it a lot of leeway. If we're gonna, if my blood, breasts, and beasts are gonna be very low, 0 for blood, 0 for breasts, and beasts even 0 because like they were not a threat. They were just being stupid kids, I guess. But I wouldn't consider them beastly or evil, just dumb. But coffin rating, I'm gonna be right there with you, BC. It's 3. 3 is just right in the middle. I think it's okay. It's not good. It's not great. I think it's a fun watch. I may even rewatch it, which I rarely do with SOV. But I've watched Cannibal Campout a ton of times, and as well as Video Violence. So it's not as satisfying as those movies, but I think it's a good time. So I think 3 coffins is a fair review for that one.
Question for you: did you blind buy this movie, or did you see it before somewhere else?
Blind buy, mainly because I was trying to support TerrorVision, and everybody was saying it was good, and my buddy Mr. Tony of the Dead said it was really great, and I knew this kid was in it, so I'm like, oh man, this kid looks great. I gotta watch this movie. So he helped me buy it. But that's something I don't love to do anymore. Really, blind buying. I try not to.
Yeah.
In the chat, we got Barnabas Collins hopping in. He says, "Hey guys, double the chaos tonight. Hope you both are doing good."
Thank you. We're doing good. Thank you. Hope you're doing well too, Barnabas.
Absolutely. Hey, Barnabas Collins. We should have a stream all about Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows is awesome rules. I never finished the original series. I got like maybe 600 episodes in. It's just so long. Yeah,
I would not. Zach says a lot of people would have to account for a massacre and a woodchipper. Well, we got 2, so it's more of like almost accidental murder than like a massacre. But and I think you really want to kill somebody if you're gonna massacre them, I think they just kind of like, oh, we have to hide the body. Oh, it's more like they were being
Yeah,
like silly. But yeah, I mean, I think it gets a recommendation from both of us, at least for somebody to check
definitely.
it out.
It's on
Do
YouTube,
you
so
think
go ahead and watch it.
perfect? It's on YouTube. Do you think people need to own it, or do you think it's good? I think just a one-time watch kind of a thing.
It depends. It depends. Watch it first and then make up your own mind, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of stuff that's also on YouTube, let's discuss uh, the Mexican almost classic Herencia Diabolical, also known as Diabolical Inheritance. This is considered the Mexican Chucky. This is our second movie of the night. Uh, Mexican Chucky, bro. I'll lead off here and then I'll toss it to you, BC. This has been released through Vinegar Cinema. You can buy it now on a nicely restored Blu-ray. Should you do that? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tricky thing to answer. Obviously, Zach here says I ordered Erenia Diabolica today in my Vincent order. Hope I don't regret it. You could always, after our review, you could always email them and say, "Hey, can you take that movie off my order?" They will do that. So, but anyway, again, you might like it. It is on YouTube. You can watch the movie there. That's how we watched it.
Yeah, but
And yeah, go ahead.
on YouTube it doesn't have subtitles. So unless you know
Oh,
Spanish
right.
like we do, you wouldn't get much of the story. Yeah. But you can
That's
still watch it,
correct.
you know. Yeah. Yeah.
You could give it 5 minutes and see what it's like, unless you know Spanish. But yeah, it does not have English subtitles, but you'll get a feel for it. This is a movie about a haunted clown doll, which is a dwarf in clown makeup, and he goes about just kind of walking around. It's barely about the doll. It's more about this dad who's his wife died mysteriously. The doll did it, and he's hooking up with a hot new piece for his new wife, and then the new wife starts to suspect that something's up with the doll. Then the doll goes after the uh, the stepmom. It's it's fine, but it's more of a drama than a horror movie, and I think that's the disappointing part. The doll barely does anything. I think screen time all told is yeah, 10 minutes
That's
or
what I think.
so. Yeah, yeah, 10 minutes, and most of his kills. I think. Well, I don't want. We'll say that for spoilers, but
Right.
yeah, he's barely in the movie. It's mostly about this lady, and here's the funny thing. I'll have to try and find a picture of her. But the lady in it, that plays the stepmom, she's got an incredible looking body, and you would think, oh well, she's probably going to get naked. She doesn't. Um, but if you put on your research hats and you type in her name in Google, you will see that she certainly had a quite the spicy career. So maybe there's a saucier cut of this somewhere, but yes, the lady in the white pants um, shows a lot more skin than you see in this movie. Those are my opening thoughts. I'm gonna go look for her a picture of her that I can show on YouTube, and then I'll be back with my closing. Go ahead.
I didn't like this movie, and I saw this movie twice because, as I've mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned on the air before, but my mind is Swiss cheese. I don't know what's happening to me. I barely remember stuff. For example, the other day, this is off topic, but it's just really brief. The other day, I said, "Hey, I want to watch Hey, Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2. It looks really cool." And then I realized, because I took a picture and I posted on my Instagram of the movies I've watched, I realized I saw this already. I'm like, I could have sworn I never seen it, but then the proof is right there. You can, like, Letterbox. It said that I saw it already. So I'm like, wow. So my mind is bad. So I wanted to remember Herencia Diabolica, so I saw it twice for tonight when we were talking about it. I didn't like it. Like Master Chaos said, it is drama heavy. The guy doesn't seem to take seriously the fact that his first wife and then his second wife both are concerned that the doll is evil. And he's like, oh, well, because the doll, the at the beginning, the wife is pregnant, but then
Mm-hmm.
when after she dies, um, she was pregnant, so and the baby survives. So we don't see the next time we see the son. He's like 5 years old, and he has the doll. So what I was saying was that both the wife and the second wife are concerned that the doll is evil, and the guy doesn't take it seriously. He says, "Oh, I'm sure there's nothing wrong." He goes, "No, this doll. I put it in the kitchen, and then I see the doll in the bathroom. I put it in the living room, and then I see the doll shows up somewhere else." And he doesn't take it seriously. I think that's a bad father right there, a bad husband. You should listen to your wife, especially if, if something like this that could very well be quite dangerous. But he doesn't care. The the doll itself, when Massacre said Mexican Chucky, I'm like, no, don't compare this to Chucky. Chucky is much too awesome. This doll, he he kills by going like this, ooh, scaring the people, and he has like some psychic powers also. When he makes like a rope go around the neck, because the first wife dies, the maid, one of the maid, uh, dies, and then at the very end, the doll finally gets something cool. He finally grabs the
Now
knife. Yeah.
let's not go too spoiler heavy because especially Zach in the chat hasn't seen it, so I don't want to give away too much of the movie.
Okay, okay. I'll just suffice to say that there's not that much that the doll does. Yeah,
Mm.
that's pretty much all it does. Um, I don't like it. It moves quite slowly. The story. Um,
Not much to say.
the doll. Yeah, not there isn't much to say. There's not much to say, and some people find the doll scary. I mean, if it was a real doll in real life and it moves, that would be scary. But it's a movie, and it, it didn't scare me at all. It bored me. So I was really bored with this movie. That's pretty much it.
Um, Gotcha. I will. Let me see here. Where did it go? I'm gonna show you a picture of what the mom looks like. The stepmom. What the fuck is it? Uh, what the fuck? Hold on. All right, it's being weird. Anyway, so this is the stepmother. Um, and you can see her. You see more of her work in Playboy Mexico. Um,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
d- does this change your vote at all, BC?
No, because we don't see it in the movie. I mean, I'm not gonna go look for Playboy Mexico now. I mean, I like brunettes better. I'm not a big fan of blondes. But she's pretty. She's definitely pretty. I'll give you that. She has a nice body. Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't discriminate, but that's okay. You can. That's fine. Uh, so yes, most of the movie is this lady, being a stepmom and looking incredible in these white pants, and then this guy coming after people with his hands up and kind of a grimace. But I will tell you this: I'm gonna flip the script as to how I began to where I'm gonna end. I and I'm a big Killer Doll fan. I love Killer Doll movies. I'm hoping to make a couple Killer Doll movies eventually. While the movie's a lot slower paced than I would have liked, I found the doll stuff to be genuinely terrifying. I was freaked out by this little fucking guy, mainly because, yes, we all know it's a dwarf in a costume. We know it's not a doll, but the way they film it and the way the doll sort of like creeps around, you have to suspend disbelief and believe that's a doll, and it's coming to push you off a building. I was genuinely into it, but I'm predisposed to really liking, even though I'm Cuban, I really love Mexican movies. We get mistaken a lot, but that's fine. Um, I really, really love Mexican horror movies. Like that's sort of a subgenre of movies that I collect. I get all the Santo movies. I get all, the gothic horror, black and white ones, and things like that. I'm not as familiar with the color ones, so this is actually the first color, Mexican horror movie to have crossed my path. I mean, beyond the Santo ones. Um, yeah, it's a little slow. Yeah, it's a little more drama heavy, but I dug it, man. I was really with it. As a fan of this, I really enjoyed it. Yes, it could have used more actual blood. Could have used more kills. There's like 4 kills in the movie. Could have used some skin. I think that would have helped. But it also didn't hurt it. And maybe I was just predisposed to liking it because I like this sub genre of killer doll movies. But I didn't hate it. I thought this was actually a pretty damn good movie. Shocking, and I may be I don't know if I'll rewatch it, but I may pick up that Blu-ray on sale if the slipcover lasts. We'll see what happens. But here are my ratings. Blood, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but I don't recall any real blood in it, right, BC? There's not a lot of blood in it.
One of the guy that steals the doll when it's in the box in the convertible of the stepmom, and he opens it thinking there's something valuable inside. The doll goes after his face. I think I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a little bit of blood in it, but a little bit.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, the stepmom is scratched up a little bit, and she has some blood on her, but it's negligible.
Yeah, so not a big blood movie, but I'll go with the one. Breast 0. Well, maybe 1 because of her future career. I'll go with a 1 because of what she brought to the table afterwards. And then Beasts, I'm gonna give this guy a 4 because I think he really made the movie, and I like the fact that they didn't, but I don't know, man. I really like that they didn't try to do like a puppet or whatever. They put a little fucking dude in his makeup, and even if it wasn't a doll, if it was a dwarf dressed as a clown chasing you, that's still terrifying. There's nothing okay about that. So high marks for him. Overall, coffin rating, this is gonna surprise BC. 4. I'm gonna give this one 4 coffins.
Okay.
I really liked it, and I think we're gonna disagree on Door too, but Erenia Diabolica, I actually think it's a pretty decent movie. So Zach, April Fools, I think you're in for a decent movie. Go ahead, BC.
All right, I completely disagree with Master Chaos. Blood 1, there's not a lot of blood. There's a little bit. Breasts, I would have to say 0 because even though the actress, like you said, goes on to show more skin, but in this particular movie, there's no skin,
Nothing.
so 0. And there's a lovemaking scene with his first wife, and it's all dark. You don't see anything, but they have the sexy music going on, like dun, 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 I don't know, the sexy music, and it's like like a minute and a half of that, but all you see is shadows, darker than shadows, and I'm like, why not show something there, But they didn't. So with Breast, I'm gonna go 0, and Beast, I'm gonna give half of 1.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
the doll, it didn't scare me, and I tried to suspend my disbelief, But no, that's not scary for me. That's ridiculous right there. That's just stupid. I hated the when the doll was played by the midget. It wasn't scary. That's a good picture. See that picture if you're planning on buying this movie and ask yourself, do you think that this is scary? Yes or no? If there's a possibility that you could say yes, then go ahead and try buying the movie. You might like it. I instantly say when I see that picture, I say no, no. So Beast half. And from 1 through 5 coffin ratings, half a coffin. Because the second time I watched this on YouTube, and I saw these like within 2 weeks. The first time I saw it, and then like a week and a half later, I saw it again just to refresh my memory.
Mm-hmm.
And I was bored by it. I wanted to turn the TV off because it was just so slow. I knew what was going on. I knew there wouldn't be any crazy kills. And but then again, we're different. I mean,
But
it
you like
depends.
slow movies. Didn't you say you like boring movies?
I do sometimes, yes. Sometimes I do, but this one didn't do it for me.
Hmm. All right. All right.
So half a coffin overall rating for Herencia Diabolica, Diabolical Inheritance.
But look, imagine you're home alone and you hear a noise in your hallway, and the door opens, and this thing starts walking towards you. Would you be like, "That's ridiculous! Get out of here, sir!" Oh, holy shit! Shit! You should have pissed yourself
Yes.
as you're
uh,
trying to exit. You would leave, right? You wouldn't hang out.
No, no, I would be super scared. I would I don't know, maybe I would try to push it out the door and lock the door or something or I don't know, but yeah, that would be scary in real life, but I mean the
That's
way
what
the movie's directed, it didn't make it scary for me. I don't know. I wasn't scared at all. I was bored. The whole runtime, I was bored.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Zach is feeling better. He says, hopefully I can land in between both your opinions. At worst, he'll
Okay.
hopefully. D Blaze, what's up? He says, BC.
Hey, Blaze.
Can you give us another taste of the sexy music that was playing? Because you had like a good beat going. How did it go again?
I don't remember. It was something like almost like a jazz kind of funk kind of thing, like something like that. Like it had like a jazzy funk kind of thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, Zach says he wants a BC sexy music album. So
Oh, okay.
if you want to make some money, that's a good way to make it happen. All right, that's Clown Dolls. Moving on to our third and final movie of the episode. This was released by Terrorvision and Third Window Films. If you buy the Third Window Films version, I believe it's region unlocked, and it has part 2 with it. The Terrorvision
Oh, really?
version, yeah, Terrorvision only has the first one, but they are releasing the second one separate. So for my money, if you really want them, get the Third Window release. Uh, Door. All right, BC, tell us about Door.
Door is my favorite movie of the night, simply because this is something that could easily happen, and if you listen to the news, something like this could definitely happen.
Mm,
There's this woman that stays home alone with her son many times because the husband is all most of the time is away at work. I don't know what he does. He works some type of office job, and
yeah.
um, the menace in the film is this spam caller asking her, hey, do you have 5 minutes to talk about your insurance? We offer good insurance. What insurance do you have? Our company could beat it. We could give you a better offer. Stuff like that. Now she is polite at the beginning. She's like, no, please, I have insurance. Don't call me back. The guy knocks on her door, shows up, he has a folder with paperwork. Um, she opens the door. She has the little um, chain on the door so the door doesn't open all the way, and the guy sticks his hand in with the paper, and she's freaked, so she closes the door, and it closes on the guy's hand, and his
Mm-hmm.
hand is injured. He pulls it back, and from that moment, the guy is spurned. He's like thinking in his head, "Oh, you bitch, you shouldn't have done this." Yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, it's his mission to terrorize this housewife. Um, the next thing that he does, he starts kicking the door forcefully, like bam, 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 and this goes on for like, then he kicked it like 40 times. That's scary.
Mm.
I thought this is scary. And another thing that he does to freak her out is he leaves a napkin with sperm in her mailbox. Now this is crazy shit right there, man. I'm
It's
thinking
true love.
I really felt for the wife. I'm thinking all she wants to do is be a good wife, be a good mother for the little kid, and I really really like this movie. Uh, I would highly recommend it. It's we saw it on the streaming app similar to Shudder called Screambox, and they have the first movie there. They don't have the second. How many Door movies are? Three? Are there?
3. I think there's 3.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the rest of the movie is him terrorizing this particular woman until he, towards the end of the movie, he goes into her house, and I'll leave it at that. No spoilers. But yeah, I like this movie. Those are my initial thoughts on Door. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Don't tell me that you didn't like it. Are you gonna say you didn't like it? 'Cause this movie's good.
The movie's good, yes, but I with a caveat for me.
And it could
Th-
happen, right? Something like this could happen in real life, and I'm sure it has before, right? Stalker.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's very realistic. Very relatable. My issues lie elsewhere, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
All right. So look, this is really suspenseful stuff. My main issue is that it suffers from slow, bland pacing. At times, this does feel realistic and terrifying, but then it'll do something completely outside the box that sucks the energy out of the movie for me. A paranoid horror thriller about door-to-door salesmen. Because, by the way, just so you know, BC, he wasn't calling her on the phone. He was calling her on her doorbell. He was outside the door.
Ah,
It was
okay,
different from
okay.
herself from her phone.
Those were somebody
So
else.
he
Yeah.
yeah, so he was a door-to-door salesman. He wasn't whatever, a spam caller.
Spam caller.
Um,
Right, right.
yeah, so a horror movie about door-to-door salesman, absolutely realistic and terrifying stuff. And then as it progresses, I mean, the fact that he opens the door, here, let me give you some paperwork, and she's like, no, get the fuck out. Yeah, that's very realistic. And the fact that he would feel like, man, fuck this bitch, she hurt me, I'm gonna get after her,
Hmm.
completely all realistic. But the movie's pace is so slow, and things just kind of take their time. And when it should be suspenseful, and I should like, man, I should feel scared for her. I should feel suspense. I should be on the edge of my seat. But I kept checking the time on my phone, like, how much longer is this thing? Oh man, what? It's
Really?
only
You
been 30
check the time?
minutes. Yeah. So man, I found myself really, really bored by it, which sucks. Because I really wanted to like it, and it had promise. We'll talk about the second half when it actually becomes the movie that I thought it was going to be for most of the movie. But that first hour, I think. Let me look at my notes.
Yeah, it's like an hour.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, That first hour incredibly slow. There's long, quiet moments where nothing happens. It's supposed to be suspenseful, but I was more like, okay, just get to it, please. The door kicking was good. The sperm in the mailbox, I thought that was good, but I thought that would ramp up to something else. I don't know. I guess I was expecting it to go harder than it did, and it almost felt like a Lifetime movie for the first half. In
Right.
terms of no, not the sperm, because they wouldn't do that in a Lifetime movie, but just the way it went about it felt very toothless for me. And then when we get to the second half, which we'll talk about it, I'll let you start there. It got better and more interesting, but I still had issues with that because it also felt kind of goofy, and I like there was stuff that they did like, what the fuck? Why would they do that? That's like the dumbest. Whatever. I'll save it for my second round. My opening, all I have to say is, it had a lot of promise. It's an incredibly well-made movie. The performances are awesome, but I found it kind of a snooze. But I know you're really
Okay.
into the big exploitation, kind of Japanese extreme movies, so I had a feeling this would speak
Yeah.
to you.
It did. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And I guess the beginning, I guess things move slowly because you're getting to know this woman and her daily routine,
Mm-hmm.
and just to get to know her, so you could, I guess, um, empathize with her when the bad things start happening to her.
Yeah.
So the so this guy, after he has his hand injured, the second half of the movie, he's like, "Fuck this! I want to rape her." Now that is sent chills through me because at the beginning he just wanted to mess with her, but then he calls her on the phone. He's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." And yet, one of the things that you're probably gonna say that is silly is the song he sings about the bubbles. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, that
Bubbles.
was fine.
That
That
was.
was fine.
I thought that was a little bit silly, but what the hell? His mind is warped. So he just wants to rape this woman, and he gets his chance because she's looking for her son, and then he was supposed to go on a play date roller skating, and she said no, you can't go, and he goes anyway. So she goes out looking for him, and she leaves her door unlocked, and the guy goes into her house and waits for her there with a kitchen knife, a butcher knife. When she comes back, the son is not there yet, and then the son is knocking on the door. Mom, open the door, open the door. She says to him, pretend you're a guest. Please don't hurt my son. Now, all this is stuff like this happens in the news all the time, you know. Please don't hurt my son. Pretend you're a guest. So that happens. So then it's the mom, the 5-year old kid, and the rapist there
Mm-hmm.
in the house. And I thought that was a lot of tension right there. She cooks and they're having dinner, and the son doesn't know that this guy is evil, so he slips up in what he's saying. He says, "Oh no, my dad won't be home today. He's not coming home at all." So then he looks at her because she had said, "Oh, my husband is coming today." But even though she had said that he's coming, he's like, "I don't care. He's not gonna get in my way." So later on,
Don't give away
towards
too
the end
much of
of,
the ending. We don't want to spoil the movie too badly.
all right, so pretty much a struggle ensues. You could see by the picture that you posted that there is blood in this movie. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and she's trying to defend herself, trying not to get raped, trying to be strong for her son. And this guy is obsessed with her, you know. So, do I give my coffin count now and blood rest in peace now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Blood, I would say 3. Mostly the second half. That's where you get the blood after he's in the apartment with her. Breast 0. Beasts 4. This
Don't you
guy,
see? Don't you see her naked? I could have sworn like he takes her shirt off at one point or something. I don't remember.
no,
I'm blanking.
I don't think you see her naked at all. You see her in a
All right.
bra when he cuts open her blouse.
Hmm.
Um, my coffin rating is gonna be a 4 as well, because even the second time I saw this, obviously I knew everything that was gonna happen, and I still felt connected with the movie. I was on a train ride, not a train ride, a roller coaster ride, going up, going down, doing the loops, and everything. I felt it. This is scary. I mean, this could happen. This is for me. This is more believable than the killer doll movie.
Well,
But
obviously.
yeah,
I mean, yeah. That goes without saying. All right. My favorite thing about this movie is the amazing overhead crane shot that follows her through the apartment from room to room. Amazingly well made. I mean, obviously they had to design the apartment and build it on the soundstage to be able to pull that off, but it looks great. And that's the most impressive thing about the movie. Another big problem I had with the movie beyond this the pace was the music. The music sucked. It was this weird like
yeah, I do.
some like weird like samba music that like what the fuck is this samba thing that had nothing to do like it was perfectly tailored for some really suspenseful, Bernard Herrmann kind of thing where like you really felt like, oh shit, the tension's ratcheting up, but the music was so, it felt like elevator music, and I don't know, that really kind of took me out of it as well.
I agree with you
uh
there. The music was bad.
Really bad. I won't spoil where the film goes in the end, but there's a moment with a chainsaw, and the woman's defending herself, but the only thing she can think of is to hit the chainsaw with her shoe or something. She's hitting it with something stupid. I'm like, what the hell? What kind of a
She
dumbass does that? What was it
she
she was hitting it with?
has she has one of those big forks that you use when you cut the turkey,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
then the son. She's in the son's room on the bathroom, and the son has his roller skates, hitting him with the roller skates.
It's like the dumbest. She's hitting it with like a fucking turkey fork, and he's
Yeah,
hitting it with
turkey
roller
fork.
skates, and it's doing fucking nothing. It's the lamest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, that just felt goofy to me. Like, this is how you're gonna defend your life? Why would you even touch it? Why would you touch that chainsaw? You know you can't do anything to it. I don't know, that I thought that was so dumb, but it worked against me. There was a lot of things in this movie that I felt could have been better. I mean, pacing. I think that I mean, beyond that crane shot, I think the director really needed to ramp up the tension. Obviously, it worked for you, but for me, I felt it was kind of dull. Um, Dell on the movies. What's up, man? How are
Hey,
you? I hope you are well. Zach says BC is selling it. Not familiar with that series. Well,
I
yeah,
wasn't before.
yeah,
Now I want to see the other films to see what happens.
mm,
I mean, to see where it
exactly.
goes. Obviously, I think they're different stories. I would think.
I believe so. Yeah. And in terms of my ratings, blood. Yeah, there's some good effects at the end. So 3. Beast. The guy is creepy. So again, a terrifying individual. So I think 4 is about right. And breasts, nothing. The movie gave us nothing, which is unfortunate. I could have sworn there was. Maybe I'm getting another movie mixed up. I've been watching a lot of Asian movies recently. Overall, my coffin rating for this one is a 3. I think
Not bad.
I think it's okay, but I don't think I could ever sit through it again. Um,
Mm.
it just did not it did not resonate with me. But I would be interested in watching the sequels if you wanna do the rest
Yeah.
of the series down the line. I'm more than happy to say let's watch 2 in the next episode and 3 in the next episode if you want to do that.
If it's streaming somewhere and there's a possibility of watching it, I would definitely want to see the other movies. You know.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Those are our three movies. That's it for Door. Not necessarily too far off. Wait, what did you give Door? What was your full coffin count for that? Was it a four or
Four,
five?
four, yeah, four,
Okay.
four.
Why not a five?
I agreed with
It
you that
seems like you really liked it.
the music was goofy, and I did really like it, but I reserved five coffins for movies that are just like perfect or excellent that I really enjoyed. Um, Four is what I'm
Gotcha.
gonna go with.
All right, great. Well, there you go. That's episode one of Strictly Splatter Live with myself and BC. We're gonna be hopefully doing a live show every month, once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
And I think we've got one of our films picked out for next month. It's
Hmm.
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2. Do you wanna do Door 2 if we could find that somewhere?
If we can find it, definitely, yeah. But that's the problem that you gotta find it to watch it because I mean I don't blind buy even if it's something that as good as this, as good as the first one is. I'm not gonna blind buy the second movie. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear you. But yeah, we'll see. So right now, it's up in the air, but 100% Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2 coming at you next month. In God, it's gonna be May already. That's crazy.
Hmm.
Um, what do you have planned for the rest of this month, BC?
Well, I my TV crapped out on me. Hopefully, I have a spare TV in my mom's apartment in my mom's house. Hopefully, I could get that one. Nobody's using that TV. It's still in the box. We bought it for when my mom's TV got old for she to replace it. But obviously, I need it now. So I hope
Mm.
that she'll be kind enough for me to I could pay her back little by little. But that threw a damper because I was looking forward to watching a lot of stuff. One of the things that I'm working on is this blog called Lethal Dose, which I review obscure horror movies that have an IMDb rating of 3 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I already did the first one, a text review called Hellraiser Revelations. Supposedly that's the worst Hellraiser movie in the franchise. If you want to know my thoughts, maybe you could add the link on the bottom of
Yeah.
this video. Now,
Is it lethaldose.com? What is this? Is it Blogspot? What
le-
is it?
lethaldoshorror.blogspot.com.
Okay. Blogspot.com. See if it'll come up real quick.
See if you can find it.
Uh, yeah, found it. I'll put it in the chat here if you guys could go check it out. I don't know if there's like a follow or a thumbs up kind of thing feature for it. I'm not sure how that works.
Mm, I don't.
Um, oh boy, yeah, that's the one that Pinhead is something else, right? It's like somebody else.
Yeah, it's not Doug Bradley. Yeah,
Crazy times. You
I
gotta have
agree.
Doug. If you don't have Doug, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. Well, I guess I'll see you again next month. As for me, I will be over on Bullet Blake's channel on April 10th for Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel 21. We are of legal drinking age. We're going to have a very special celebrity guest, and we're going to be introducing a new Voyage member. We're losing a core member, and we're gaining a new one, and you'll want to watch that episode to find out who our new core member is and who the celebrity guest is. Then on the 24th of April, I'm going to be on My Killer Podcast channel for Voyage 22. Yeah, 22. And again, we're going to have another celebrity guest who has not been booked yet, but it's going to be amazing. You're going to have a great time. And then Voyage will take a break in May. We're going to be off. We're going to come back in June for that. But in May, BC and I will be here for episode 2 of Strictly Splatter Live. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us. Any parting words, BC?
Um. No. I'm glad I'm looking forward to more episodes of Strictly Splatter Live. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The thing about me having my own YouTube channel is still very rough idea. It hasn't been fleshed out yet, and I'm still thinking about exactly what I want, what kind of content I want to put up. So it's a maybe for now. So I would say don't expect it to come out like soon.
Right. All right. Last comment of the night. Zach says, "Fun debut, guys. The time flew and cracked me up. Looking forward to the next one. I've been splat. LOL." All right, my friend. I'm glad to hear that. Farewell. And remember, if you see a dwarf clown heading your way, send him to BC's, because BC thinks that's fine. That's normal. Nothing scary about that.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this?